everybody, and welcome to the HERstory Collaborative. My name is Jen Buck, and I'm your host here in the collab. This is a space that's all about amplifying women who are doing their best to change their little corner of the world. And I love to bring on women who are powerful and have a message to share. And that is exactly what we have going on today. Now, I'm super excited about this interview because this is somebody that I personally like a lot. Her name is Tasha Church. Now, Tasha Church is the only certified instructor on the island of Maui in empowerment self-defense. It's a 40-year evidence-based curriculum designed by women for women and other vulnerable communities. It provides individuals with tools that they need to interrupt violence when it is happening and to act as needed. With her 18 years of self-defense experience, studying 7 styles of Japanese martial arts, Tai Chi, and boxing, along with doing warrior spirit training, she is one of a kind. She has been trained by some of the best and most elite instructors in the world. Now, Tasha also co-founded Ladies First, an organization for middle school and high school girls that focuses on self-esteem, body image, and self-defense training. She's worked with people of all ages, ranging from age 3 to 92 years old. She has served the deaf, blind, and differently abled communities, and she donates her time delivering trainings at local shelters to ensure that the community is safe and strong. Tasha also does her empowerment instruction in an online course that you can do from your home, which makes your growth that much easier and that much more convenient. So welcome to the collab, Tasha. I'm so glad that you're here.
Aloha, Jen. Nice to be here.
It's great to see you. You know, we've done this before, and you have your podcast webcast, and we've had some time together, and it's been fun to get to know you. And I'm just so honored that you would come and spend a little bit of time with me.
Oh, I'm just happy to be here. It's really crazy how this whole year has really expanded everybody's minds and made it so much easier to communicate.
Isn't it? I love it. That's one of the things, I mean, with as horrible as this has all been, it's one of the little gifts that we've gotten from it, if we can even say that, is
Absolutely.
this sort of rapid connection that has occurred, you know, via social media and all of the different platforms that are out there. And so I'm just really grateful that we can do this. And I have been really impressed with you. So you live in Maui, and you live,
Yes.
as I have said to you, the most extraordinary life ever. And I know that you are not only living a beautiful life, but you're really committed to making sure that people are safe and able to protect themselves. And there aren't many women, I would think, at least in my world that I've known of, that are in your field and leading within your field. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Well, thank you. I mean, you said so much of it already. For me, I'm an empowerment coach on the island of Maui, and I teach something called empowerment self-defense. Now, a lot of people say, oh, self-defense, what style of martial arts is that? And I take it a step further because we're not just talking about the physical aspects of self-defense. We're talking about the mental and emotional. We're also talking about boundary setting, de-escalation tactics. I want people to think bigger and broader. So when you're coming up on personal and or professional development, and you're thinking about, gosh, I really need to negotiate my pay, but I'm too scared to do it. That's where empowerment self-defense is really great, because it's like, no, you can do this. You've got this. Here are different tools and strategies that are going to help you and help you communicate clearly what you deserve. And so it's a way for people to start looking at themselves through a new lens and have them understand that their voice does matter. Their gifts do matter to the world. They have something special, amazing, and great in each and every individual. And that's what I try and bring to the table. So when it comes to empowerment, self-defense, yes, I'm teaching self-defense skills, but I'm also teaching life skills. I'm giving people these tools and strategies so that they can live their best life, and also so that they can feel empowered, elevated. They can advocate for themselves because they don't need to have a knight in shining armor. They are that knight in shining armor. That's really big for me.
I love that. You know, just yesterday I was working with a group, and we were talking about body mechanics and the mind-body connection and how powerful it is when you stand in a certain position. Now, of course, we were playfully calling it the yep, exactly. We were calling it the superhero position.
Yes.
Right? But there's also that taking up space, you know, arms out, feet wide, all of that to create power and strength. And so I love that you're not just putting it into a sort of box of defense, but it's also about how you're empowering yourself in every area of your life. And I just think that everybody could use that. I think that there's such richness there. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that it is so important because so many times, especially for women, a lot of women, we people please. We want to make people happy. We want to serve our community. We want to give back as much as we can. But what happens, especially in stressful times like this last year, we give and we give and we give. There's nothing filling up our cup. And so we really need to have these tools and strategies that combine with, empowerment, self-defense combines with self-care. You think about it and it just makes complete sense that yes, of course, if I am going to be vibrant, if I am going to be active, if I am going to serve my best, I need to be on top of my game. That means that I need to be taking care of myself and I need to feel confident. I need to feel loved in order to be able to give that love back.
Yeah, absolutely. So what brought you into this world? Because you've got so many different certifications. You have trained with the best of the best. And so what brought you here? Was there a road that brought you to this space? Is it something you always wanted to do? Tell me a little about that.
It's a very call it a broken road, but for me, originally I wanted to be an author. I wanted to write children's books. I have a collection of children's books from all over the world. So I had worked on this children's book for 10 years. And a week before my book launch, I actually dealt with an attempted sexual assault at my home. I had a stalker. And and that was not my first one. So I have initiations that I consider. It's not necessarily the initiation you want, but I had stalkers in different stages of my life. When I was 15 years old, I met someone who was 32 and a family friend and would call me his little sister. And after 2 years of that and inviting me over to play video games and give me food and all this stuff, I learned what grooming was. I was like, oh my God,
right.
I'm being groomed. And it's a really scary thing for teenagers. This is something that a lot of kids don't want to share with their adult, their parents or supervisors or different people who are adults in their lives, because they think, oh my God, I've done something wrong. So I didn't share with my family and my parents. And as heartbreaking as that was for my mom only a few years ago, when I ended up sharing with her that story, I thought I had to stick up for myself and do it on my own. And so I did that, and I did stick up for myself, and I verbally set very clear boundaries, which looking back, I was like, you go, girl, you did it. But the other part of me is going, wow, that's absolutely terrifying. So I joined a martial arts school at that time. And I spent 8 years learning 7 different styles of Japanese martial arts. And it was a really empowering time, but I also was learning from all men. It was very male dominated. And so the ideas and ideals that came from that felt very disempowering. It was an interesting dynamic because I'm learning how to defend myself in all of these different ways, but I'm dealing with put downs. I'm getting told that I'm not going to get promoted because I'm a woman. All of these different things that you think, gosh, should this really be happening right now? And for me, I just thought there has to be a better way. There has to be a better model. I deserve to be treated with respect. I brought some tissue. But I deserve to be treated with respect, and I'm not getting it here. And a huge turning point for me was that I was teaching, I was doing classes, I was participating in training, and I would do that 5 days out of the week. And I had my grandmother pass away, and I ended up going and telling my head instructor, my grandmother has passed away. I really need to be with my family right now. I think I need to just take a couple of weeks off. And he went in front of the whole class and said that when his father passed away, he spent 5 minutes in another room and he was just fine. And then he did a huge speech about quitters. And so I left that day and I did not come back. And then, it was me going through all of these other styles and learning different styles until I came across empowerment self-defense. And so getting back to it for me, a week before my book launch, I experienced an attempted sexual assault at my home. It was my last assault that I actually had to deal with. And I just had so many angels around me, so many wonderful people who were guiding me and taking me in. There was a police officer who looked out for me. And I went through this whole experience of what it's like to be behind the scenes, actually living through, this is a trial. It's not going to happen overnight. What do you do? What do you do with post-traumatic stress? How do you live with that? And so all of these people who teach, different martial arts styles and everything, not everyone has experienced these different pieces that I have. And so I realized over time, there needs to be a space for women where you could come, you can learn these different skills, you can feel safe and supported and know that your voice is valid. And so I decided to create that. And that's how I created, I co-founded Ladies First, and later went on to create my LE Live Action business. And then I found Empowerment Self-Defense. And it's just been a godsend. It's just been wonderful.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And isn't it interesting how sometimes the toughest moments of our lives are exactly what, it's the rising of the phoenix, right? Exactly what propels us to make sure that we are prepared for anything tragic that might happen again. And it's the learning and the development and the commitment to building that strength that can end up changing your entire life, and turning a situation that was horrifying around so that it's finally a learning tool, right?
Yes.
I mean, as horrible as that is and was, I'm amazed that you were able to turn it around and make something so good out of it.
Thank you. Yeah, for me, one big piece is that going into the martial arts school, I really felt that I had to be hard. I had to be all of these ideas of what strong was. And I realized that no, I'm feminine. I'm a woman. I love dressing very feminine, and all of that is okay. Mm-hmm. It's just important that you have these tools and strategies in order to protect yourself. Mm-hmm. If you are doing your thing, wearing whatever style you want, it's good to have different tools to protect yourself if you need it.
And, I've had friends of mine who have done martial arts, and it was very male oriented. And I remember sort of the crushing, of the, down of the breast so that it wasn't something that became, I guess, a liability. And when I hear about the way you do your courses, you do it in loose, flowy clothes so that you can teach, if someone grabs that, how to get out of it. You actually use the clothing to teach the tool, which I think is brilliant, because now we're starting to realize the power of the female centric, because there are some things we have to do differently.
Yes. Yeah. It's so interesting because I have been in classes where it's like, well, don't wear hoop earrings. Don't have your hair down. You don't want to wear long earrings, and you shouldn't wear a dress. And I'm just thinking, well, you're basically telling me I shouldn't be a woman. This is the type of woman that I am. I love the way that I am, and I don't want to change it. I think that it is really important for women to be able to express themselves however they want to do that, and understand that you can be feminine and fierce. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. I love that. So tell me what you love about what you do.
Everything.
Yeah. I love it.
I love everything. Something that I absolutely love is the end of class, just the looks on these women's faces, and I've worked with men too, just the look on their faces at the end where they suddenly realize, I get it. I can go out there, and if I need to, I can kick some ass. Sorry, you probably can't say that in there. Bleep that out.
We're all adults.
But I can go out there and conquer the world. That's the face that I see. I love it at the end of a full training when I have somebody break a board, and I always have them write down what they're breaking through. And so I've had everything from, the patriarchy, the glass ceiling, all of this stuff. And they just are so excited. And that's something that they get to take with them. So I usually record them breaking the board, and I send it to them in this nice little video. I'm like, you did it. Yes. And it's just a very powerful moment. One of the last people who did that, she went through a 3-month program with me, and it was personal, private sessions. And she was pregnant. She was a mom. She really wanted to protect her babies because she had an incident at a grocery store where a guy was following her around and kept on trying to touch her 2-year-old's hair. Now, just imagine being a mom and just having someone want to touch your baby's hair or try and pick up your baby. That fierceness comes out. And so I got why she originally came in, and I knew that she was coming in because she wanted to protect her kids and everything. But what I found was that she came in because of her. She wanted to be empowered. She wanted to have a voice. She wanted to feel validated. And it was halfway through that she realized she was doing this for her. It wasn't just about her kids. And I loved the moment that she had that realization. She just started crying.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Years ago, I was going through a big divorce, and it was really messy and really just gross. And I remember someone saying to me that there was one spot left for this immersive training that was happening over a 3-day weekend. And people were going to be breaking boards and just, going through the emotion, walking over fire, barefoot, all of the things, right? And I remember saying, I can't go. I literally just left the house, 8 hours ago. And I remember this person saying to me, there won't be another training literally for 6 months. And I knew this was important, and I knew I needed to be there. And I knew it was also 3 hours away, but I jumped in my car. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that I had to get there. And it was the experience of my life. It's so pivotal for me to know that I could break through a board, that I could be in control of emotions, that I could walk over hot coals, 8 feet of hot coals with no shoes on. I mean, it was just insanity. And so I understand exactly what you're talking about, because we are capable of so much. And as soon as the brain catches up to that capability, it's game over, right?
That's right.
It's game over. But the brain has to catch up. The brain has to believe it, because the body's ready, but the brain is often lagging behind and saying it's not safe, right?
Yes. Yeah. And it's so much, there's so many things that you are capable of doing if you just let yourself. One of the big things for me is if I feel like I'm afraid of something, I go explore it. I think that that's something that I think is so important just as a life skill for people, is if you are scared of something, usually that's your brain telling you that there's a barrier, or there's a blockage, or there's something that you don't know, and you need to do some more research or feel it out, try it out.
Yeah. I totally agree. So I want to transition and take you through some of our speed round questions.
Oh, yes.
If you don't know them, don't worry. I don't want you to feel like you have to, sit here and grapple. So if you don't have something, that's okay. But the cool thing about this is that I've heard from our listeners that they actually will write down some of these songs or some of these books or whatever it is. So whatever you can give just gives us a different sort of perspective of you. We get a lot of you, of course, in the interview, but this is just fun for us to be able to get to know you a little differently. So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, first one. So if you had an hour to sit on a park bench with a woman from history, whether it's yours or public history, whoever that might be, for an hour, that would be it. You had an hour with this person, they've passed on. Who would that woman be for you?
It would be my mom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, good answer. I love it. So if you were given $1 million to give away, it had to be given to an organization. Which organization would you give that to?
ESD Global.
Oh, nice. Okay. What's your favorite place in the world?
Brazil.
Oh,
And here, and Maui.
And Maui. Yes. Maui is one of my very favorites. So that's a good answer. Yeah. So what's your favorite book or podcast?
Favorite book, I really enjoy Laura Thalassa's Bargainer series. Favorite podcast, I just love listening to TED Talks.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Have you listened to Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert?
I have not.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Is it really good?
So interesting, so cool, so deep. Not what you would expect at all, because it's wacky Dax, Shepard, and he's a little bit, goofy and all of that. He's so deep. There's such great stuff. He's an anthropologist. He has his degree in anthropology. So he's from UCLA. So he's really deep and he's really smart, and he's gone through hell and back to be the man he is. So, it is, I can't say enough about that. I'm addicted to that podcast.
That's awesome.
Check it out. Yeah.
I will.
So if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Superhuman strength.
Oh, of course it would be. Yeah. Yes. What's your most treasured item in your life?
I have a necklace that actually has a talisman from my mom from the 70s, and my warrior spirit talisman that actually has a sword and it has a triangle on it.
Very cool. That sounds like your logo.
It's similar.
Yeah. I mean, just because I've seen your logo. Excellent. Yeah. What's your theme song? If you were walking on stage, 30,000 people in the audience ready to hear you speak, what would you walk on to?
Well, I don't know if you've heard of Ledger, but she has a song called Warrior that's really awesome.
I haven't, but you know what? I always pull these songs up after. So this is great.
Cool.
I'll pull it up for sure. Very cool.
Yeah.
What's one big thing that you want to accomplish before you're done here on this planet?
That is a great question. I feel like I've done a lot of it, but I really want to be able to pass on this knowledge and gain at least 100 trainers who are teaching the work that I have to offer.
Nice. I love that. What is a wacky or quirky fact about you?
I have a 3-way tooth.
What? What does that even mean?
And so there's the front of this tooth, and then there's a third part to it on the back. No. I had to have it filed down.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So you ready for mine? I have an extra rib on my left side.
No way.
Yeah. So I often joke that I'm Mary. I'm Eve. I'm Eve.
Yeah.
I got it. I have it. Yeah. Okay. So cool. Here's another one. What's the best word to describe you?
Fearless.
Nice. Yeah. And I want you to finish this sentence. It's the last one. When I'm really, really old, I hope to see.
Women take over the world.
Yes. Great question. A great answer to the question. I love that. Yeah. Absolutely. I think we do everything better,
Yeah.
And maybe I'm biased, but
we hold up more than half the world, I would say.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Absolutely. Well, this has been such a joy for me. And I want to make sure that people know where to find you, because you're such a warrior, and you're doing so much good in the world to create strength and power and fearlessness and stability for people. And so I want to make sure there are avenues that people can travel to get to you, whatever that looks like, via the internet, phone, email, whatever. Can you give us your details?
Absolutely. So in order to find me on any social media platform for my business, it's LEELLE live, LIVE action, ACTION. Or you can also look me up under Tasha, Ina, INA, Church. and both will bring you most likely to the same place. You can also look at my website, leliveaction.com.
Awesome. I love it. And you have a course that is out where people can actually learn to do this stuff from home. You want to tell us about that real fast?
Yes. So this course is really amazing. It's very special. I actually had an influencer who came in and she took one of my classes and she had a situation that she didn't get out of 20 years ago. I helped her through it and showed her multiple ways of getting out. And she said, everybody needs to know this. I actually am I create online courses as a living. Let me show you how to make the best course so that it is easiest for people to digest online. And so that's what I ended up creating. I had that first course come out in 2018. Obviously, with everything else and all the new trainings, I wanted to make sure that it was more readily available for people and easier for them to digest. So I created a new course this last year, and it has 7 classes that have different attacks per class. And so every class, it breaks down the move. I do a demo, break down the move. I teach somebody on camera. So it actually shows someone who has very little experience with self-defense. They ask the same questions that a lot of my students do when things come up of like, how's the hand placement? Where should I be positioning myself? What am I doing with my feet? All of that stuff. And then I have an at-home section so that people can actually learn what to do at home if they're alone and they still want to practice. But it's it's a go at your own pace. I even have a bonus class that focuses on the 5 principles of self-defense, which are think, yell, run, fight, and tell. And so all of that put together, I have course modules on self-empowerment, de-escalation, boundary setting, and safety planning. And what's so cool about this course, and what I didn't have the last time, was I happened to meet Tony Robbins' old bodyguard at a waterfall in Maui. And I just thought, wow, you are the perfect guy to beat up. Can I can I borrow you for a few days?
That is fantastic. I didn't know that's who that was.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So he is just a rock star. His name's Kyle Goodman. He's so sweet and so amazing. And he lives on island. And he helped me through this course. He has a family member with personal experience when it comes to self-defense, and he knows how important it is. And so he really wanted to help and support this work. And so I just feel so blessed to have been able to have him help me. And it's just been really amazing, a dream come true to be able to put together this course and have it available for people.
I love that. I love it. And I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for doing this with me and just coming and spending some time.
I know, you rock. I'm so excited to actually spend the time with you.
I know, I agree. And when I get out to Maui, I'm going to be knocking.
I am your private tour guide.
Exactly. Love, love,
yes.
love. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, Tasha, for being here. I'm always here. Every week we drop another episode, and I'm so grateful that you would spend just a little bit of your time with me. If you are interested in getting a hold of me, you can find me at jenbuckspeaks.com. And I want to make sure that I give a special shout out to our sponsor, who is 100 Angels. 100 Angels is transforming communities through service and education by providing comfort to populations in need through physical, emotional, and spiritual care. I have worked with 100 Angels. They are the most extraordinary group. They are impacting families right now, and they need help. So if you're interested in donating either your money, time, goods that might help, you can go ahead and get online and go to 100angels.org. So Tasha, again, thank you for being here. And everybody else, we will see you in about a week.
Aloha.
Bye.